Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Agri Business Now. Here's what we have in store for you on this evening's program. Rural Transformation Backyard Gardening Project a success. Get updates on the status of the banana industry. And meet some of the beneficiaries of a water harvesting project. These along with the How to Do It Yourself corner, plus the news and announcements. We guarantee you a very interesting package, so stay tuned for the details.
Water. It is 75% of the Earth's surface, yet it is scarce in some places. It's 70% of our body's mass, yet many do not drink that 8 glasses per day. The forest plays an important part in the water cycle by protecting our watersheds. Water is life. Protect the forest. Preserve life.
With the aim of transforming the lives of persons in the rural communities, the Rural Transformation Unit within the Ministry of Agriculture is doing just that.
In 2016-2017, the Rural Transformation Unit in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labour collaborated with the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Food and Agriculture Organization to implement a home garden project to provide sustainable access to nutritious food and encourage greater consumption of fruits and vegetables.
The Rural Transformation Home Garden Program is part of a wider government policy to provide access to food, particularly for the vulnerable. But it's part of that policy where we talk about zero hunger. And this is one of the initiatives undertaken by the Rural Transformation Unit. The objective, as I said, is to provide access to fruits and vegetables, because we found that Vincentians as a whole, the statistics show that we consume less than our daily requirement of fruits and vegetables.
Approximately 150 homeowners, which spans a total of 10 communities across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, have benefited from the project.
Generally, all of the participants agreed and decided that they would continue. They all appreciated the fact that they can eat healthy from their own garden and that there was no chemical, agrochemical used. They learn how to use biological treatment and biological method for controlling pests, and I think that was the highlight.
I got started with this program in 2016. I met in Calico. I met Mr. Duggan right across at the Panyard, and he spoke to me about the agriculture program that they were doing and invited me to a meeting at the Calico Parish Hall. So I took the opportunity and I got registered there with a lot of other persons that were interested. And when the due time came, I got a call from him, said that they would be in the area to pass out seedlings and go through with us how we go about to do the transplant and we went through how to do doing the mulching and how to plant, how the distance, how deep we have to go. And so I went through the program with them and it was quite successful.
I became a part of this project when Ahmad Jones and Cobb Duggan visited the area, and my home was visited and selected to do this backyard gardening, registered with the Department of Agriculture. But before that, I usually plant lettuce and a little few things around, and I was so happy that I was identified. It kind of gave me more motivation to do more in backyard gardening. So, I'm so happy for that.
Currently, there are a significant number of beneficiaries from the Backyard Garden Project who are still cultivating.
The program is so beneficial that I think that others should be joined so that it's beneficial to them, because everything is natural. What you plant is what you reap. And instead of going and buy food that have in these chemicals, planting your own backyard garden would be so much healthier and beneficial to you and your family.
What I know is that when you do your own thing, like for instance, you don't put that amount of chemical, no chemical at all, and most of the times people want to live at a healthier way, and they want to make sure that what they eat is free from chemicals. So the backyard now gardening, we don't use that at all. So it helps us to live a more healthier life. And at the same time, you know, you would help other people into the project, like encouraging them. Because a lot of people around here have a lot of wasted space, and they could very much get into that kind of exercise.
Participants also received training in food handling and preparation.
We, as part of the Backyard Garden Group, we came here to display our dishes. Like, as you can see, we did stuffed tomatoes, stuffed okras, and other delicacies. Well, so far in the backyard gardening, I have been enjoying it because I get to learn about all different types of vegetables that has been grown, and I get to experience it for myself. And I believe that I have grown, well, you could say, one of the biggest sweet peppers in my yard out of my sisters and my mother, because it was like a competition. It was like a competition to see who would have grown the biggest. As you can see from the background, we excelled in doing our produce.
Mrs. Emerald Payne Richards shared some important advice.
I would tell everyone, come and join, get involved today. Don't plant your whole yard in grass or concrete. Dig up the concrete and plant your little vegetables. Sometimes you have to wait a little while before you can get a produce from this particular thing that you plant. But it is very, very beneficial for you and very economical for each and every one of us.
The banana industry has contributed significantly to the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, over the years, there has been a decline in the production due to changes in the marketplace and the incidence of diseases such as moko and black sigatoka. Nevertheless, there is still an ongoing drive to revitalize the industry.
And a service unit in the Ministry of Agriculture is responsible for the operation of the banana sector. Senior Agricultural Officer Karomo Brown gave an update on the industry.
Now, one of the main challenges faced was the issue of marketing of bananas. Farmers would have suffered significant losses in the early part of 2018. This was due to a significant reduction in the exports of bananas to our main regional market, Trinidad. This was as a result of the limitations with the currency exchange issue, where traffickers were unable to get foreign exchange when they went to Trinidad. This would have significantly hampered the exports, where traditionally exports would have been around 2,000 boxes a week, and this would have reduced downwards to 200 boxes a week to the Trinidad market. One of the other challenges faced by farmers is the readily available fertilizer and other inputs. Now, this has been a challenge over the years because of the reduction of the banana industry or the banana sector over the last few years. It has significantly reduced from where it was in its heyday 15-20 years ago. Now, this is having some impacts where the cost of inputs would have also increased. What we've been able to secure is that the agricultural input warehouse has been able to continuously sell banana fertilizer at cost price. So at least this is one of the advantages that farmers have.
Mr. Brown highlighted the unit's projection for 2019.
Now, going into 2019, the Banana Services Unit have set a number of targets internally that we hope to meet. These would include the increase in training sessions, particularly for farmers, where we look at their cultural practices, their field practices, fertilization, their leaf spot control, their follower setting. But we would also be looking at improving our overall spray program. We're hoping to introduce over the year new mixtures, new fungicides, more efficient fungicides. With the increase of, with the coming on stream of the Taiwanese project, the Banana Revitalization Project. In the first instance, this project targets 200 acres, which will be located from Connery to Orange Hill. And this project would run for 4 years, where we would focus on increasing the productivity on farms in this particular area. The project runs for 3 phases, where it would look at increasing productivity not only in that area, but it would expand outwards to other banana producing areas. With the addition of the third spray team, we're hoping to better control or to improve the service of providing leaf spot control to farmers, where with the third team we expect to have faster turnarounds in terms of our leaf spot spraying cycles.
Gideon Gilbert, a banana farmer, is hopeful for the future of the industry.
For 2019 going forward, I'm hoping that with the assistance from the ministry, whoever is willing to come forward and assist the farmers in whatever way possible, especially within the marketing aspect of it, and see how best we could assist the farmers in finding markets for this banana production. And without that, I will say that might as well we give up on the industry if we can't find proper markets for this product. I think that there needs to be greater collaboration between the farmers and the banana services unit, in the sense that the advice that could be given, farmers using that advice, as I mentioned earlier, the timely application of the whatever pesticide or whatever is being used to control, farmers doing their part in the fields, bunch management, ribbon tagging, which seems to be a major issue with farmers now. The input warehouse, in terms of having inputs on a timely basis, that is a struggle that we have been faced with over the last couple of years. If you ask me, there is really a need for a conversation between all the stakeholders involved, and how we could come together as a unit to make this work for the benefit of everyone involved, actually. We all know the major role that bananas would have played in our economy, and we can't pretend that it didn't happen, because we could see the effect now from the downturn of the banana industry. So if we could get together, work together as a unit, and see how best we can try and revive this vital industry to our country.
The Japan-Caribbean Climate Change Partnership Project, in collaboration with the Inter-American for Cooperation on Agriculture, IECA, has embarked on a climate-smart agriculture project to support small farmers by increasing their resilience to climate change and other environmental shocks.
The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IECA, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Project, the UNDP, is presently in the process of implementing a pilot project through the Japan-Caribbean Climate Change Partnership, the JCCCP. The project is entitled Promoting the Adoption of Climate-Smart Agricultural Practices Among Small-Scale Producers, and is funded by the government of Japan. 5 pilot sites were established as model sites under this project. IECA technical specialist to St. Vincent and the Grenadines Michael Dalton was among a team that recently visited 3 of these farms and gave a synopsis of the project.
We have, under that project, established 5 pilot sites demonstrating good agricultural practices. Those sites are located at Sans Souci, Calda, Pembroke, Kingston, and Rose Hall. Those sites are essentially demonstrating 3 types of practices. The first of which are soil management practices, secondly, crop husbandry practices, and finally, practices related to the management of water on the sites. In terms of the soil management practices, what we are looking at essentially are practices for the prevention of soil erosion and also for the amelioration of the soil. In this regard, we are speaking towards the use of compost material to supplement the soil and to, as much as possible, minimize the use of inorganic material. In terms of the crop husbandry practices, we are also looking to minimize the use of pesticides and inorganic fertilizers. In terms of the water management practices, what we are trying to do is to minimize soil erosion, minimize rainwater runoff, and also at the same time use the excess water that we are receiving via the farm buildings for storage and then for use for irrigation purposes on the farm. Ultimately, what we are hoping to do is to build resilience among the farming population here to ensure that the production from the farm remains optimal, that the production is also sustainable, and that at the end of the day, Nesta Bilindri has a profitable enterprise that she can continue to work over some length of time. One of the key features on the farm here is the installation of the rainwater harvesting and irrigation system, which you would see. Nesta has in this regard over 3,800 gallons of water that we have brought onto the farm through the use of plastic storage tanks and through the use also of a drip irrigation system which has been incorporated into the activities on the farm.
Charged with the responsibility for installing the drip irrigation system, Aldrich Brown highlights his role in the process and encourages others to take up the challenge to learn and to adopt these techniques.
The system that we are using, as I said, is drip irrigation system. These are serviced from 2 1,000-gallon water tanks, which collect water from roofs. We have crops that are now benefiting from the rainwater harvesting system. Now, the farmers, they have to be trained in operating these systems. They have to be trained in carrying out small maintenance. And also, we are hoping that farmers in the vicinity can visit these plots to see what they can learn and who all are interested in having these systems, which would be beneficial for them. Now, within the past few years, we have been noticing a particular trend in the weather pattern. We are having heavy rains for one day, and then we have to wait 2 weeks before we receive rainfall again. Now, during that 2 weeks period, the crop, they are under stress because they cannot get water. What we are doing is that we are trying to make water available to the plants during those periods of agriculture drought.
Let's now hear from 3 of the beneficiaries of the project.
I am so pleased to get this water harvest system, irrigation system going on my farm so that it can help me, especially when the weather is dry. Because what really happened, the climate change that we are going through is so severe on my farm because my farm is usually dry. Even when it's raining, when the sun come out, it's terrible. So the irrigation system that IECA has helped to implement on my farm is very useful to me. Even the crop that I have planted here, the irrigation system come in very useful because at the time when we was planting, we had a very dry spell. If you look, you will see how the plants them looking beautiful. Thanks again to the water harvest. And I encouraging all the women, if they could set up, come and see the project and set up. Not even the women, the youths, and even homes, backyard gardeners, to come and see the project, the model of it, and take a step and enjoy the farming.
On my farm, I have cucumbers, I have sweet peppers, and I have cabbage. Roughly around 700 whole of sweet peppers, a pack and a half of cucumbers, and about 60-something cabbage. This project was brought to me by the extension officer for this area, Sophie, with the help of Dalton, the organization ICA. For me, farming is the way of life. It's the best thing I ever do. I love my work and I love everything about it. The system has helped me thus far because during the drought, it will help me to water my plants. I have to get up and things. It's just by turning a tap, and give thanks to Mr. Brown for the setting up, and I hope to do much better, extend this project a farther way along. And give thanks to ICA.
Well, I'm happy to be a recipient of the Japanese climate change project, of which there are several pilot projects, and I am one of the recipients. Over the years, as we are aware, you could have said that the dry spell starts from June to November, but it is not so. As a farmer, over the past years, during the dry spell, you are unable to do your farming as before. But being a recipient of this project, I believe that it would increase my capacity as a farmer to plant more vegetable. Over the past years, we knowing about what is happening around with the climate. As you can see, we have 2 catchments. From the barrels, we have about 7 up there, and also we have another shed further down where we have about 5. And also on the farm, we have 4 taps. So anywhere you go on the farm, you could be able to use those taps. But I believe, presently I'm recipient of 2,000-gallon water tanks. But I know it would not completely, in the dry spell, it would not be sufficient to complete the vegetable production on the farm. But in the future, I intend, I have plans also to incorporate some plastic barrels.
Coming up next is the How to Do corner. Don't go away.
When preparing your seedling trays, sterilize all seedling trays before use by immersing into bleach solution. Use 1 teaspoon of ban rot in 1 gallon of water to protect seeds and seedling from infection by damping off pathogens. Sterilize soil medium. This kills soil-borne pathogens that cause damping off. Medium component comprise of 3 parts coconut fiber, 2 parts pen manure and 1 part sand. Ensure that growing medium is properly prepared to provide good drainage, structure, aeration, and water holding capacity. Place treated medium into seedling trays. Now let's look at how to sow seeds. When sowing seeds, create a hole in each cell. Place 1 seed into each hole. Cover each hole lightly. Scatter medium on top to ensure seed coverage. You can also cover trays with coconut leaves or by stacking trays on one another to increase the rate of germination. Seedling trays with seeds are placed in a covered shed with UV treated plastic or saran shade cloth. Ensure that the seed is well ventilated and humidity is not too high. Seedling trays should be at a convenient height. Now for the germination process. If seeds are covered at the first sign of germination, remove cover. Once a seedling is ½ inch in height or has 3 leaves, begin foliar application with Miracle-Gro at a rating of 1 teaspoon to 1 gallon of water. Spray insecticide once per week using either malathion or pyrite. spray fungicides such as mancocide or banrot to control leaf spot, damping or phytophthora. And finally, let's look at hardening. To do this, reduce the amount of water applied daily about 1 week before sale or transplant. This prevents plants from wilting after transplanting.
Now for the news and announcements.
The Farmers Support Company Limited, FSC, would like to remind all farmers who would have received loans from the company for the production of various commodities and are delinquent in your loan repayments to settle outstanding balances immediately. Payments can be made at the Farmers Support Company office at the Ministry of Agriculture's headquarters, Richmond Hill, Kingston, or at the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines at account number 201090. That's 201090. The public and importers of animal and animal products, including wildlife, are hereby notified that the importation of all animal and animal products, including wildlife, require a valid import permit from the Animal Health and Production Division of the Ministry of Agriculture. This permit must be accompanied by an original export health certificate from the country of origin. Please note that the importation of pet birds is strictly prohibited. Items arriving without these documents will either be returned to the country of origin or confiscated and destroyed under the authority of the Chief Veterinary Officer by order of the Minister. For more information, please contact the Animal Health and Production Division, Ministry of Agriculture, Kingston, St. Vincent and the Grenadines at telephone number 456111, extension 326, or email animalhealthsvg@hotmail.com.
Well, viewers, this is where we come to the end of this evening's program. Let me invite you to join us again next Wednesday for another informative Agribusiness Now. For more information, you can contact us at the Communications Unit at telephone number 456-1111, extension 312 and 472, or email us at citumaf2@hotmail.com. You can also get updates on our YouTube channel at Agribusiness St. Vincent and the Grenadines and at web.facebook/agribusinessnow. On behalf of the Communications Unit team, I am Nakita Samuel. Good evening.